Hello guys, my name is Ocha Wisnu Dharma and I'm from Group 1 and I'm gonna explain you about microeconomy. Okay, first of all, what is microeconomy? Microeconomy is science that studies about economic phenomena extensively, including inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. Okay, next I'm gonna explain you about aspect of macroeconomics activities. And the second one is Keynesian theory. There are two schools of macroeconomic theory. Macroeconomic focus on three main things. The first one is how are demand and supply. The second one is the main problem faced by the economy. And the third one is the role of wisdom and government invention to solve problem. Okay, now I'm gonna explain you about development of macroeconomic theory. John Maynard Keynes appeared with thoughts that can be found in his book, The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money. Macroeconomics focus on three main things. The first one is how are the supply and demand. The second one is the main problem faced by the economy. And the third one is the role of wisdom and government intervention to solve problems. Okay, the first one is main macroeconomics problems. The second one is various types of main data used to observe and assess the achievement of activities of an economy. And the last one is government policies to overcome various problems faced. The first one is the classical school. It was founded by Adam Smith and Keynes. The school did not do much to create analysis regarding the problems of unemployment, inflation, economic instability, and economic growth. This book explains about criticals against classic views, and aggregate expenditure is the main factor that determines the level of economic activity achieved in a country. And the last one is government policies are needed to create full employment rates and economic growth. Classical school understanding. The free baseline system will realize a long-term level of economic activity. Return in economic activities so as to cause unemployment are things that are mandatory and apply in this theory. The free strategy will make adjustment on its own and a solid economy will resume. The occurrence of the Great Depression in 1929 until 1932 impacts. The first one is lots of unemployment, and the second one is national income is experiencing a decline, and the third one is this suggests that the independent mechanism cannot automatically generate a strong economy.
Okay, now I'm gonna explain you about the circulation in macroeconomics. The first one, I'm gonna explain the line between workforce market and household. The interaction is the household supplies labor to workforce market, and workforce market give wages to the household. And the next one is the line between workforce market and corporation. The interaction is the workforce market supply the labor to the corporation. Okay, moving to the next, I'm gonna explain the line between the household and the government. The interaction is the household pay tax to the government, and the government give rent to the household. Next, the line between the government and the corporation. The interaction is the corporation pay tax to the government, and the corporation receive a rent from the government, same as the household. Next one is the line between household, government, and corporation with financial market. The interaction is they save their money and they will receive interest from bank. And the next one is the line between financial market and commodity market. The interaction is financial market invest to commodity market, and the, the line between commodity market and foreign. The interaction is they both carry out export and import activities. And the next one is the line between household and commodity market. The interaction is the household consume goods or services in commodity market.
Okay, next I will explain about macroeconomics goals and problems measured in the economic. So, For macroeconomic goals, macroeconomic has several objectives that also have implications for a country. Each objective is intended to solve problems that rise in a country, and here are some goals. First is creating jobs. High unemployment rate in a country will be bad for that country. High unemployment will be a burden to the country economy, and macroeconomic policies regulate job created so as to reduce unemployment in the country. The second is high domestic production. The high or low of a domestic production depends on the investment that enters the country. In order to increase domestic production, a country must have high investment and increase the productivity of society. With increasing productivity, income will also increase and domestic production can be increased properly. Third is stable economy. A stable economy in a country includes the level of income, employment, and also the stability of the price of goods in the country. Macroeconomics able to keep prices of goods and jobs stable. This will also have a good impact on a country. Fourth is balance of payment. Each country must conduct transactions with other country. This can also affect a country economic. Therefore, the balance of payment must also be balanced. Some important things that need to be known in the balance of payment are the trade balance, current account, and monetary traffic. And the last is even population income. One of the goals of macroeconomic is for a country to have equal population income. This income is obtained both from the management of natural resources and human resources in the country. With an even income, the life of the population will get better, so that the quality of people in a country will better too. So next is main problem in economic. First, growth problem economic is the development of activities in economy that causes goods and services product in society increase. This is caused by 1. The factors of production will always be has increased in number and quality. 2. Investment will increase the number of good capital. And 3. Technology is developing. Second, instability problem economic activity. The economic is not always stable and regular. There are times when it increase and decline. Movement in term long time is called life business cycle. The economic cycle show expansion and recession along the growth rate, potential national income. Third is unemployment problem. Unemployment is a situation where someone who belongs to the workforce who want to get a job but haven't can get it. Main cause: 1. Lack of aggregate expenditure. 2. Unemployed because they want to find a job better. 3. The company use modern technology as a substitute for labor. 4 is mismatch between workers' skills with the skill required by industry. Fourth is inflation problem. Inflation is a process of increasing price prevailing in an economy. The inflation causes: first is the level of aggregate expenditure in excess the ability of companies to produce goods and services. 2. Workers in various economic activities demand an increase in wage. 3. An increase in the price of imported goods. 4. Is adding expensive money supply without an increasing in production and the supply of goods. 5. Is political and economic choice as a result of less responsible government. The last is balance sheet problem payment. In open economic, an economic that is have economic relation with other countries, with the main activities being export, import, and besides that, the flow of capital is for investment as well. And for balance of payment, an overview prepared systematically that show the flow of payments from abroad into the country to abroad. So that's all for me, and next will be explained by Darlene Gabriela.
So now I'm gonna explain you about the scope of macroeconomic. Macroeconomic theories discusses several issues, including the determination of economic activity, inflation, unemployment rates, government policies, and other matters that related to the economy as a whole. It mainly covers the major fundamentals, which are macroeconomic theories and macroeconomic policies. Here, the macroeconomic theories involve economic growth and development, the theory of national income, money, international trade, employment, and general price level. In contrast, macroeconomic policies cover fiscal and monetary policies.
Hello, my name is Octagal Karisma. Now, let me tell you about the fiscal policy.
Fiscal policy. What is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy is the use of government spending and revenue collection to influence the economy. So there's the action of fiscal policy. There's expansionary policy, that fiscal policy that encourage the economic growth. And the second is contractionary policy, fiscal policy that reduce economic growth. Limits of fiscal policy. This is the limits of fiscal policy that hard for the government to change spending levels, hard to predict the future, and delay time. This because the changes don't happen overnight. This the two type of expansion policy. Fiscal policy options, classic economics, that the idea that the free market regulates itself. Great Depression pointed out the weakness of this thought. Keynesian economic, or John Maynard Keynes, the idea that government should increase spending to spark demand and help the economy. And this the demand side of economy. The result in multiplier effect is the idea that $1 spending by the government result in many more in the private sector. Automatic stabilizer, if set up properly, fiscal policy can automatically stabilize the economy. For example, like the taxes. Low income from the taxes, lower taxes and more transfer payments, or the high income. This the supply side economy believe that the economy should work to increase supply. Too much government control will reduce productivity. Taxes that are too high will discourage work. This is shown by the lever curve. And the third is calls for less government spending and tax cuts. The deficit of national debts. The federal budget is rarely balanced, so either running a surplus or a deficit. The two ways to combat the deficit is first to create money. How to create money? you can lead uh, I mean like the impact of create money is lead to hyperinflation. Or the second is borrow money. How to borrow money is first like sell bonds, or for the second is borrowing increase the debt. This is the problem with the national debt. First, borrowing money creates a national debt. It's exactly it will make a national debt, and debt is not the same as the deficit. The second problem arises with the national debt. The national debt creates investment competition for private business, or this known as the crowding out effect. And the third is servicing the debt. Paying off interest on the debt is an opportunity cost. And that's it from fiscal policy and from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.